You know what? I said before that his ego is a bit inflated, but now I think he had reason, to be honest.
No,
He's good. How must that make you feel? Like, he really must have felt like Alexander the Great. Because, like, look at everything he's done to date.
Hello, guys.
Hi, everyone.
I am Valdemar.
And I'm Veronica.
And we are back. If you don't guessed it, you can see the title maybe or thumbnail. But if you still don't know, it's Napoleon.
It's Napoleon. And we are watching the battle at Jena? Somewhere. The Battle of 1806.
Jena-Auerstedt.
I think the biggest success of this video will be if we learn to pronounce it. But we are continuing with the Napoleonic Wars. That's the part that we are watching now. We are following the chronological playlist, so we'll see where it takes us.
Yes, this time don't expect 3 videos in a row. That was one time only.
Well, maybe not one time only. We'll see what the future brings, but not this time.
We finished story of Napoleon at Austerlitz.
Yes. And
it
then
was
we had
1805, I believe.
And then we had to look at the Trafalgar battle.
Yes, which was happening at more or less the same time.
It was an amazing video.
I think a little bit before the Austerlitz. Yeah, it was great. The Austerlitz was a bit disappointing, as we said already, because it was an older video. But the Trafalgar was great, and the story and really
his dying words and everything. Oh,
yeah,
top
I
of
don't
the
know
top.
if this was not my favorite episode of this series.
Yeah, like from the perspective, because I remember I couldn't say it for sure when we just finished watching, but this is Jesus. For sure, this is the video that I spent the most time thinking about after we have watched it.
Because it was so quotable.
Yeah.
Because of those.
It was so
of
epic.
The story,
of the story, yeah.
Like you die, but you are so important, and you influenced everything so much. Yeah, amazing historical figure.
Yeah, for amazing historical figure, and then with the dying words, and then you know how he said at the end that he saved them anyway with the weather because he told them to put the anchors there and everything.
But that's interesting. Why Napoleon is overshadowing Nelson so much. Like if you would ask people you know on the street, most of them will know Napoleon. Not everyone will know Nelson. Maybe in England, I don't know.
I think most people would not know him.
Yeah, exactly.
And almost everyone knows Napoleon.
Yeah, but when you will think about it, Napoleon is the guy that lost at the end.
Yeah.
And Nelson won. So why is it?
It was more iconic.
It's not like
more
with
important,
dictators,
more important, large scale. In the end, maybe than what Nelson did. I suppose.
It's like with like world wars. Like I think people don't know that much people who won.
Yeah.
I mean Churchill, of course, but you would have to not as much as as Stalin or Hitler, but with First World War, I think also you won't know people that much. Those that won.
You think he's famous because of the big failure? Maybe.
I wonder if there is something,
really?
About losing
that makes him more
that
famous.
makes the story, more with the zinc,
Yeah.
Like, would Napoleon be as famous without being exiled on St. Helena? Or is like the best closure? But also, like, why Nelson is not?
I guess maybe he didn't have that much of a widespread influence. I have no idea, to be honest.
Maybe it's because Napoleon like conquered almost all of Europe. So maybe there is that. But still, like knowing the story now about Nelson, I feel like he really should be more regarded in history. Yeah. And I know that he is, like
but not enough. Like
it.
We should know who he is before we start.
Yeah, like in school, like
more about him.
I didn't know it at school. Yeah. I never learned it at school. Now I know, and I will never forget. But I wish he was like one of those historical figures that you're like, okay, like Charlemagne, like.
I agree. Yeah.
Okay. Let us know how it is in your countries, because maybe in your countries it's like more popular. Like I would assume that in England he is
Nelson, for sure,
everyone knows.
But
And maybe I think in France it could be similar case. But let us know.
Let us know. I'm really curious.
You ready? This episode is quite short, but I think it's a newer one.
Very much collaboration, supported by our sponsor, the Great Courses Plus. In December 1805, at the Battle of Austerlitz, Napoleon Bonaparte, Emperor of the French, won a crushing victory against the joint forces of Austria and Russia. Napoleon now dominated Europe, able to hand out spoils as he saw fit. In February 1806, he sent an army led by Marshal Massena to overthrow the King of Naples, who had dared to side with his enemies, and gave his throne to his own brother Joseph instead.
That's a nice
Another brother, Louis, was made King of Holland. His German allies, Bavaria and Württemberg, were elevated to the status of kingdoms, while Napoleon made himself protector of the Confederation of the Rhine, a new alliance of German states that would contribute 60,000 troops to his army.
I think the music is a little bit too loud in this one.
In recognition of the new reality, Emperor Francis of Austria formally dissolved the Holy Roman Empire, founded by Charlemagne 1,000 years before, but now without influence or purpose.
Isn't it funny that he mentioned
Austria
it just
had
as he
been
said
humiliated.
Yeah.
France
he didn't have to
remained at
mention him.
war with Britain, Sweden and Russia. But in the summer of 1806, all eyes were on Prussia. The Prussian king, Frederick William III, regarded Napoleon with deep mistrust and had been about to join the coalition against him when news arrived of its disastrous defeat at Austerlitz.
Next time, maybe.
He was heavily influenced by his wife, the celebrated and popular Queen Louise, who detested France and Napoleon. She led the influential War Party at the Prussian court. Matters came to a head over Hanover,
at the time.
a German state which had belonged to British King George III.
I mean, yeah, but also on the east you have Catherine the Great.
Okay, that's true. Everything is in shadow of that.
Yeah. Also, if you're wondering, Poland is somewhere here in Prussia. Like, I mean, I know where it is, but it was the time of the... What's the word?
I forgot. When the countries are taking apart the territory of another country. I forgot. Under occupation.
Not an
Poland
occupation.
is under occupation. No? Is that occupation?
Partition.
I forgot. Partition. There you go. Yeah.
Yeah. There were three, and this time it's after the third one.
Yep.
That's why there is no Poland at all at the map.
You can see that Silesia, which is now part of the Poland. So...
I mean, yeah, but Silesia was not part of the Poland
it's now part of Poland. Yeah.
for almost always. Like, it was in like 11th century for a moment, but after that it was Germany for almost all the time. Now it's Poland, yeah, mostly. Like almost all the Silesia. There is a little bit of a Silesia in Czech Republic and very, very small bit in Germany. But yeah, after those partitions, the Poland became smaller and smaller. For a moment, there was the Kingdom of Poland. No, sorry, the Duchy of Warsaw, which was a duchy. But at this time, there wasn't. And I don't know if it will be mentioned, but we fought together with Napoleon.
Yeah.
Because he promised Poland independent, kind of independent
rule after
state.
State. Yeah, and I think we've already mentioned it a couple of times in this series, but he is mentioned in our national anthem because of that.
Yeah.
So he's very well regarded in Poland.
Yeah, in Poland.
Also because I feel in part also because the Russians didn't like him, and we just like we like to be opposite.
And Germans.
Yeah, and Germans.
I mean, it was very simple with Napoleon. It's enemy of our enemy is our friend.
Yeah.
But we kind of disobeyed him at one point. Not all of us. I mean, Polish people.
Yeah, not personally.
But Polish troops. I don't know if you heard the story, but Polish troops were sent to Haiti.
I heard it
to suppress an uprising in Haiti. But actually, I don't know if this was everyone from the Polish troops or just large parts. But they kind of felt like they were fighting for independence in their country, and those people were fighting for independence in their country, and they felt bad about suppressing this uprising, so they joined.
I heard about this. I remember this from school for some reason.
Yeah, it was mentioned.
Yeah.
And because of that, I heard there is some percentage on Haiti of people with Polish descent.
Yeah, and apparently we're quite well liked in Haiti.
Yeah, I heard so, yeah.
Been occupied by the French and given by Napoleon to Prussia as compensation for other territorial changes. Now the Prussians learned that Napoleon had secretly offered to give Hanover back to Britain in exchange for peace. Frederick's advisors now persuaded him that war was the only honourable course. But Prussia then made a basic strategic blunder, sending an ultimatum to Napoleon without consulting its new allies in the Fourth Coalition. Their forces were too far away to help Prussia, who would now face Napoleon's Grande Armée with just the small state of Saxony for support.
I have a very stupid remark to make.
Go on.
Did no one at any point think that Prussia and Russia are just named a little bit too similar? I never thought about this before. It's the first time I'm thinking about it. It's basically the same word. Come on.
You never heard about this?
I never thought about this before. It never occurred to me,
Yeah, I thought about this in school, that some people, some uneducated people in Poland at this time could even be mistaken,
Yeah,
you're living
that's what I mean.
In one partition and you're Ruski?
Yeah.
Which one is it?
Seems like an oversight.
What does it mean, mildew? Mildew, or how do you pronounce it even?
It's not mold, but it's another kind of the green stuff that grows on things when things go rotten.
Okay, I get it.
In 1806, the Prussian army had a fearsome reputation that dated back 50 years to the reign of Frederick the Great. Napoleon, a student of history, regarded it with respect. But Prussia's army had been allowed to rest on its laurels. Its generals were old, its staff work hindered by bureaucracy and personal rivalries, its movements ponderous and predictable.
So like France 100 years
Prussian
later.
soldiers, however, could be relied on to fight with pride and determination,
How the tables
while
turn.
Prussian cavalry was regarded as amongst the best in Europe. In October 1806, Napoleon invaded Saxony with an army of 166,000 men and 256 guns. Advancing in 3 columns, the French crossed the mountain forests of the Thüringer Wald, along roads carefully reconnoitred by scouts and spies. Napoleon intended to threaten Leipzig and force a decisive battle with the Prussian army, which he believed was near Gera. The Prussians were, in fact, further west, concentrating near Erfurt, on the west bank of the river Saale. Its commander, the Duke of Brunswick, had hoped to threaten the flank of Napoleon's advance. But wrong-footed by the speed of the French, he now ordered a retreat north to find a new defensive line. On the 10th of October, at Saalfeld, Marshal Lannes' 5 Corps clashed with a Prussian advance guard commanded by Prince Louis Frederick, the king's cousin. The Prussian force was routed, and Prince Louis himself killed in combat with a quartermaster.
I just thought about this, how much it influenced the quality of the army, I think.
The nepotism, in a way.
The nepotism, and also, the fact that you had to have a royal blood, or maybe not royal, but noble blood, you have to be duke or, or count or someone to be high-ranking officer.
I think that's a very interesting question because there's something to lose and there's something to gain, like the way I see it. Because on one hand, you have a smaller pool of candidates to choose from.
Yeah, exactly.
But on the other hand, you have people who are raised from the first time that they are able to walk to do these kind of things.
But so is Napoleon, for example. You just go to school and you learn it.
Yeah, but...
And Napoleon was not from aristocracy.
Yeah, but then you have nothing else. Like you only have to focus about this, and everything else is taken care of for you. I don't know if that's better because I suppose your character is not as developed.
But I think just the fact that the pool is so little, I wonder how many Napoleons, could have been in all those countries, but they've never been because they were, from low class.
Of the French 10th Hussars. 3 days later, Lannes made contact with a large Prussian force near Jena and sent news to Napoleon. The French emperor, believing he'd found the main Prussian army, rapidly issued orders for his corps to concentrate for battle at Jena. Bernadotte's 1 corps and Davout's 3 corps were to cross the Saale and fall on the Prussian flank from the north. But Napoleon was wrong. Lannes faced a 35,000-strong Prussian rearguard, commanded by General Hohenlohe. The main Prussian army, 52,000 men under the Duke of Brunswick, was further north, moving straight into the path of Davout's 3 corps. The Battle of Jena began at 6:30 a.m. on the 14th of October, in thick fog. Marshal Lannes' 5 corps already had a toehold on the plateau west of the town and river. His first task was to drive back the Prussians and win room for the rest of the French army, arriving by the hour to deploy.
I hope the fog clears because I can't see anything.
His infantry led the way, and fierce fighting broke out for the villages of Cospeda, Closewitz and Lützeroda. Meanwhile, Augereau's 7 corps advanced through a ravine, emerging onto the plateau on Lannes' left flank, while Soult's 4 corps climbed steep tracks to form on his right. Napoleon joined Lannes in the centre of the battlefield, organising a 25-gun battery to support the attack on Vierzehnheiligen. The village was...
I wonder if those corps were more powerful than if they were not corps. Like, do you remember the corps were...
Yes. He invented this way of dividing the army so that exactly. They are all an independent
people
unit.
In the comments said that not exactly he was the one who invented it, but he
started using
developed it.
Yeah.
But yeah, you had like artillery, cavalry, and everything.
They were
in
kind
those...
of independent.
Yeah, but it was great, for fast maneuvering and to be independent in the case you will fight an enemy. But I wonder if they are now fighting a big battle, and you have like, so some cavalry here, some cavalry here, some artillery here, and some artillery there. I wonder if this is beneficial to French, or is it actually not?
That's an interesting question. Maybe someone in the comments know. And I wonder also, are they able to reorganize?
I don't think so. No, if you have like a chain of command, I think it would be too much of a chore, to now be like,
everyone on the horse goes.
You go here,
Okay.
Won, but then lost to a determined Prussian counterattack. On the right, around 10 a.m., Soult's infantry secured Closewitz, but was counterattacked on its right flank near Rödigen. A decisive charge by Soult's light cavalry drove off the Prussians, routing their infantry and capturing 2 enemy colours. As 6 Corps began to arrive on the plateau, its fearless but impetuous commander, Marshal Ney, ignored orders and dived into the fighting around Vierzehnheiligen, becoming briefly cut off by a Prussian counterattack and having to be rescued by
really
Guard
a lot is
cavalry.
happening in this, like, at the same time, right?
General Hohenlohe was expecting the arrival of 15,000 more troops under General Ruchel at any moment. Until then, he remained largely inactive, shoring up his line and ordering limited counterattacks. But he had run out of time. Napoleon had begun the day with just 25,000 men. By 12:30, a steady stream of reinforcements had brought his strength up to 96,000.
Oh, I think...
As the Emperor rode past the Imperial Guard, one young soldier, eager to be sent into action, called out, "Forward!" Napoleon stopped and demanded to know who had spoken, then rebuked the soldier as a beardless youth who ought not to offer advice until he too had commanded in 30 battles.
Someone has problems with his ego. What's happened there? Josephine cheating on him.
Although the Guard, to its frustration, remained in reserve, the other French corps were ordered forward in a general attack. The Prussian army began to give ground. At first it kept its discipline, but then disintegrated into a general rout. Murat's cavalry were launched in pursuit, riding down and sabring hundreds of fleeing Prussians. General Ruchel's 2 divisions finally arrived at the worst possible moment.
I'm disappointed that he didn't say that it was flamboyant.
Maybe he was not very flamboyant in this battle. There was still fog, you couldn't see how flamboyant he was.
They briefly held up 5 corps' advance, but were soon outflanked, broken up by cannon fire, and charged down by French cuirassiers. Meanwhile, 12 miles to the north, near Auerstedt, Marshal Davout was marching southwest, expecting to fall on the Prussian left wing at Jena. Instead, he encountered the Duke of Brunswick's main Prussian army, heading north to take up new positions. Davout's 3 corps, 27,000 men and 48 guns, was about to face odds of 2 to 1. While Bernadotte's 1 corps, which had orders to support Davout, was nowhere to be seen. Davout, nicknamed the Iron Marshal, showed no signs of alarm. He formed his 1st division into a defensive line centered on the village of Hassenhausen, his infantry forming squares to repel a series of cavalry charges by General Blücher's advance guard. His other 2 infantry divisions arrived to strengthen the line, standing firm in the face of repeated Prussian attacks. But Prussian movements were slow and poorly coordinated, nor did they use their numerical advantage to try and outflank Davout.
Seems like the base
At a
maneuver.
crucial moment, the Duke of Brunswick was shot through the eyes, a wound that proved fatal.
Both eyes.
King Frederick William himself took command. Several Prussian units remained uncommitted, but the king, convinced he faced the main French army under Napoleon, dithered. Around 12:15, Marshal Davout counterattacked. The Prussian army turned and fled. Davout had won a stunning victory against the odds, but at a heavy price.
It's another time that, that it's not the Napoleon who is the star, but he really had some, capable subordinates.
Yeah, I think we said several times already that he's just surrounding himself by...
And I think this is also like quality of a good leader.
Yes. Yes.
His corps suffered 25% casualties. 1 man in 4 killed or wounded, while inflicting twice as many losses on the Prussians. When news reached Napoleon that Marshal Davout had engaged and defeated the main Prussian army, he reacted first with disbelief, then heaped praise upon the Iron Marshal, later awarding him the title Duke of Auerstedt.
Oh, at least he could do.
Marshal Bernadotte, in contrast, was nearly court-martialed for failing to support Davout.
Yeah, where was he?
Napoleon's army began a masterful pursuit of the beaten Prussians, giving them no time to regather their strength. 2 weeks after the twin battles of Jena-Auerstedt, Napoleon's troops, led by Davout's heroic III Corps, entered Berlin.
He's just walking into capital.
The next day, General Hohenlohe surrendered at Prenzlau. At Lübeck, General Blücher and 20,000 Prussians were driven out of the city in heavy fighting and forced to surrender.
You know what? I said before that his ego is a bit inflated, but now I think he had reason, to be honest.
No,
He's good. How must that make you feel? Like, he really must have felt like Alexander the Great. Because, like, look at everything he's done to date. Like, he went to Italy. He got like a not that good of a unit that he could turn into this amazing army. And then he's in Egypt and he's commanding in Egypt and he's
especially what happens in Europe. You're like clapping all those European superpowers.
Yeah, he's like, what do we want to take? What do we want to take?
It's like fourth time. It's not like the first time. It's fourth time. He's like,
like, name a country. Like, he's just throwing a dart at the map and like, this one, okay, we can take this one if you want. No problem.
No, and this moment that you're referring to, he was in the right, to...
Yeah, no, of course he was, but, it was just... But I wonder, like, is it nice to be told off by Napoleon rather than not noticed at all?
While 25,000 Prussians besieged at Magdeburg surrendered to Marshal Ney. Prussia's army had been devastated by a Napoleonic blitzkrieg. In just 33 days, Prussia had lost 20,000 dead, 140,000 prisoners, 800 guns, and 250 standards. It was a humiliation that proud Prussians like General Blücher would neither forget nor forgive. Unlike Saxony, King Frederick William refused to make peace with Napoleon. He continued to hold out in East Prussia, trusting in the approaching Russian armies to rescue his kingdom. Despite another glorious victory for Napoleon and the Grande Armée, the war was not won yet. Napoleon Bonaparte was one of the greatest military commanders of all time. But who were some of the worst?
I think that's the
sponsor.
Yeah, short video, but packed.
Very packed. There was a lot of happening, and also, like, when we're looking at the map, a lot of happening at the same time. That was a bit of a challenge for me to.
Yeah, but I think it's because of the quality. Like, like normally in those newer videos,
he goes one by one.
You'd have different perspectives. You'd be focused on different things, but here it was all shown on one map. Mm-hmm. And because of that, it's like you were seeing, lines everywhere. Like, they were going here, they were going here.
I find it very interesting to see how the channel grew as well, and like how you can have, I don't know how many people were involved at the beginning and how many people are involved right now, but just grasping the raw talent of it, and it was already perfect. Like, it's already really, really good, and then it just became even better.
Maybe they can get better even.
Yeah, I think they will.
I saw that they have a series about the First World War, and I would like to watch it.
Oh yeah, I know that they do. It's the second biggest one. I have mentioned to you.
Yeah, I want to watch it after we will finish the Napoleon, which is not that far. I saw the episodes today. I checked, and there is not that many. And after there is like 5 episodes about Napoleon's marshals, and I wanted to ask you if you recommend us
to watch it or not.
Recommend us? Recommend to us?
Recommend for us to watch it.
For us, yeah, to watch it, because I don't know. It's after the Waterloo already. The Waterloo is the last episode with Napoleon, and after that there's like 5 or 6 episodes about his commanders.
Okay, I'm curious.
I wonder
Let us know. Let us know, because we will watch the epic history videos anyway. It's just like up to you. Do you want us to watch the marshals? Should we, or maybe should we faster move on to a new series?
Yeah, exactly.
And I also know I'm reading your comments. So is Valdemar. So there are a couple of requests for like supplements to watch. So I have them on my list, and I told you this, and I do not remember the names of the channels, but there's a couple of videos by other channels that we were asked to watch to supplement it. So if you have made a comment, especially if you made it like twice, then please know that I have taken a screenshot, and we plan to watch all of these. And also the videos about the ships that you wanted us to watch, we will also see that. If something is not on the chronological list, but you guys really want us to watch it, we will for sure supplement the series by those videos.
Give us some time, because it's busy. You would have to watch only Napoleon on this channel. Yeah,
but we do like watching Napoleon, so I hope that next series is also going to be good, because I will be upset when it's over.
What I wanted to say...
That you want to watch the videos about the First World War.
Yes, but before that, about this video, that I found it fascinating how it's 19th century, the beginning of the 19th century, but how it all changes in history. Like... You had Germans, Prussians, waiting for Russia to come and save them from French.
Yeah, right.
And it's like if now I would think that that the Russians will come to Poland to help save us from Czechs.
Yeah, but
from Slovakians.
That is true. Yeah. Like, what a strange lineup.
Yeah, and,
from today's perspective.
And you had those a couple of times already in this video, like those different, pacts and alliances that were unheard of. Like they mentioned Frederick the Great 50 years ago, and how powerful the Prussian army was. And then 50 years later, they get clapped by the French.
Yep.
And 100 years later, and the French come into Blitzkrieg into the German territory, and they go into Berlin. And 120 years later, you will have the opposite situation, and Germans coming into Paris.
Yeah, it makes you feel almost...
And one draw in between.
It makes you feel almost, I don't know, godlike, to be able to have this eye, the bird's view of the whole history, right?
I mean, not really, because what I think about is the future, because it's not the end of the history, and I wonder what will happen next. Like, with how we see the history changes.
I don't want to know. I'm not sure that I want to know.
Like for example, even now with United States, like you had this rivalry of United States and Russia for almost the entire 20th century. But now you have Trump and Putin, and they're like, oh, Putin, I respect him so much. He's such a great leader.
The last 2 weeks. So please do not, because it's going in the right direction. So
but you know what I mean? It's like someone would not expect that to happen.
Yes. Yeah.
And yet you have those changes in the global politics.
Indeed.
And those alliances,
the tides are very strange. They are not
set in stone. And we especially, our generation, or the ones a little bit older than ours, the ones that never experienced war, not only, in our territory, but, even the war somewhere close to us.
Yeah. In Europe.
We kind of, not only in Europe, because like, for example, United States, you had troops sent, to Iraq or Afghanistan, but there was a good chance that you did not know
anyone who had to be sent, because it was mostly just if you were already a soldier, right?
Only.
Yeah.
In United States, there is no conscription, like forced conscription.
Yeah, but it was. Mostly if you were already a soldier, but there were more people joining the army at that time. That's what I meant, for the specific purpose of going, I suppose.
I don't know. I have no idea. Maybe I don't know. But what I meant is that we had those beliefs that those alliances, were set in stone. And now there is talk about removing Spain from NATO.
Yeah.
Because the Spain does not pay enough money, does not contribute enough. And even the European leaders are like, the Spain is kind of useless. So let's contribute, or, get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
So it all changes, and that's what learning history does, it makes you think that, that it happened before, so it can as well happen again.
Yeah, and strange things can happen.
Yeah. Thank you guys for watching with us.
Thank you. And we'll see you very soon in the next episode.
Very soon. Don't promise very soon because
a week is soon.
You say very soon and then you have like comments 2 days later.
Well,
when is Napoleon going to be?
We'll see you soon enough. And I'll just quickly tell you, because I know a lot of you still mentioned that you don't know, we have another channel. We have a movie reactions channel, and we have watched a couple of war movies right now. So if you are into that sort of thing, you might want to check it out.
Yeah,
because
I think this episode will be uploaded on Sunday. So on Friday, there was Hacksaw Ridge uploaded on another channel.
Yeah, and we already have Saving Private Ryan there.
Yeah.
So, go and check it out if you want. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.